while the worshippers of God will be especially distinguished by their regard for the fourth commandment, since this is the sign of his creative power and a witness to his claim upon man's reverence and homage. The worshippers of the beast will be distinguished by their efforts to tear down the Creator's memorial to exalt the institution of Rome. It was in behalf of Sunday that Popery first asserted its arrogant claim, and its first resort to power of the state was to compel the observance of Sunday as the Lord's Day. But the Bible points to the seventh day and not to the first as the Lord's Day. Said Christ, the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. The fourth commandment declares the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord. And by the prophet Isaiah, the Lord designates it my holy day. Mark chapter 2 verse 28 and Isaiah 58 verse 13. The claim so often put forth that Christ changed the Sabbath is disproved by his own words. In the Sermon on the Mount he said, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven." Matthew chapter 5 verse 17 to 19. It is a fact generally admitted by Protestants that the scripture gives no authority for the change of the Sabbath. This is plainly stated in publication issued by the American Tract Society and the American Sunday School Union. One of these works acknowledges the complete silence of the New Testament so far as any explicit command for the Sabbath, Sunday, the first day of the week, or definite rules for its observance are concerned. Roman Catholics acknowledge that the change of the Sabbath was made by their church, and declare that Protestants, by observing Sunday, are recognizing her power. So all those Protestant churches that observe Sunday are actually observing or recognizing the authority of the Roman Catholic Church, since they're the one that changed the day from Saturday to Sunday. As the sign of the authority of the Catholic Church, Papist writers cite the very act of changing the Sabbath into Sunday, which Protestants allow of, because by keeping Sunday, they acknowledge the church's power to ordain feasts and to command them under sin. What then is the change of the Sabbath but the sign or mark of the authority of the Roman Church, the mark of the beast? The Roman Church has not relinquished her claim to supremacy when the world and the Protestant churches accept a Sabbath of her creating, while they reject the Bible Sabbath. So all these Protestant churches, all those big names, they reject the Sabbath as the Lord's Day, the seventh-day Sabbath, Saturday, but they are willing to obey a day that was made by a man. What is the problem? We do not want to obey God's command, but we are so ready and willing to obey men. Romans declare that the observance of Sunday by Protestants is an homage they pay in spite of themselves to the authority of the Catholic Church. But Christians of past generation observed the Sunday, supposing that in so doing they were keeping the Bible Sabbath. And there are now true Christians in every church, not excepting the Roman Catholic Communion, who honestly believe that Sunday is the Sabbath of divine appointment. God accepts their sincerity of purpose and their integrity before Him. But when Sunday observance shall be enforced by law, and the world shall be enlightened concerning the obligation of the true Sabbath, which is Saturday, then whosoever shall transgress the command of God to obey a precept which has no higher authority than Rome will thereby honor popery above God. He is paying homage to Rome and to the power which enforced the institution ordained by Rome. He is worshipping the beast and his image. As men then reject the institution which God declared to be the sign of his authority, and honor instead that which Rome has chosen as the token of her supremacy, they will thereby accept the sign of allegiance to Rome, the mark of the beast, and it is not until the issue is thus plainly set before the people that they are brought to choose between the commandments of God and the commandments of men, that those who continue in transgression will receive the mark of the beast. The most fearful threatenings ever addressed to mortal is contained in the third angel message. That must be a terrible sin which called down the wrath of God unmingled with mercy. Men are not to be left in darkness concerning this important matter. The warning against this sin is to be given to the world before the visitation of God's judgment, that all may know why they are to be inflicted and have opportunity to escape them. Prophecy declares that the first angel would make his announcement to every nation, every king, every tongue and people. The warning of the third angel, which forms a part of the same threefold message, is to be no less widespread. It is represented in the prophecy as being proclaimed with a loud voice by an angel flying in the midst of heaven, and it will command the attention of the whole world. In the issue of the contest, all Christendom will be divided into two great classes: those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, and those who worship the beast and his image. Although church and state will unite their power to compel both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark of the beast, yet the people of God will not receive the mark of the beast. The prophet of Patmos beholds them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harp of God, and singing the song of Moses and the Lamb. And now our final text will be found in Acts chapter 5, verse 29 and 39. Acts chapter 5, verse 29 and 39. Then Peter and the other apostle answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men. And verse 39. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against God.